Yeah, you can use a table a lot in Coffy. I was, hitting people with tables and chairs, but I know how to do it. Like they said, I had a black belt in bar stools. Okay, so, but that was because I was a scary little girl and I'd been attacked before, so I had to learn martial arts. But anyway.
Please welcome to Steel City Con, Pam Grier. Come on up. They love you. Keep it going.
No. You know I love you. Come on now. You got up early. You drove all the way here to support the film industry. At some point, we actors have to thank you. Because without you, there are no actors. There's no industry. There's no films, no executives. It's like the three branches of the executive branch of the country. We have the executives, the writers, the producers, and the actors. But, as I mentioned, at the TCM Film Festival last summer where they were honoring me, I said, you know what you forget? The crew members, the Teamsters that drive our trailers as soon as we finish work to the next location, if they can get it in LA traffic. Then that crew goes home and sleeps during the day. Then the day crew manages our trailers, turns on the heat, make sure it's flushing, make sure it has water. They work there's two crews, union crews that take care of us to make a film so that we can enjoy it over and over and over again, generations, and inspire filmmakers and narratives that haven't been told. So you're a part of that. Each and every, don't think that I'm just sitting here and giving you money. No, that's not it at all. When the strike hit, writers, directors, and actors, I was feeding wranglers and actors hay for the Westerns that didn't shoot, for their horses, buying them groceries. I live on acreage. I'm from rural Wyoming and Colorado. And I have 18 water spigots, and I let everyone know that 18 trailers and 18 families can plug into my property. If it goes into past the holidays, they're not getting paid for 10 months. Domestic violence went up 300%. Do we argue over gas, food, who takes the kids to school? They were supposed to have been working, and they weren't. We were. But I just want to know that we're all in this together in such a deeper way that sometimes you don't see it. And I made sure everybody had a gas card, and I had some moonshine if they needed it. Because you know what kids will do when they home in a trailer. Before the day is over, everybody's barefoot in the sand. And rattlesnakes and tarantulas. I'm in New Mexico. We brought my mom down there because of COVID. But that's another story. But I can't forget how many years you've supported me since I was 19 years old to where I am today. And today, they released my series on Amazon called Them. And it was released today, and we'll hear about a company that is producing my biopic as well. You've been waiting for that off of my book. It was a New York Times bestseller, came in at number 20, and I have to thank him. You may not like him because he has a bigger yacht than most people. But Jeff Bezos released my book 3 months before it was published because of the demand. Borders was closing. Small community bookstores were closing. And you may not realize that a small bookstore on Sundays, they rent it out to a church to pay the rent. And they teach free reading and languages during the summer to your kids. They're like summer reading camps, free. And so he released, I don't know how many millions of books. I don't know what it was, but the independent community book stores got to receive 700 books to sell and keep the rent going, pay the rent, pay everything for like 4 or 5 months. I thanked him personally for doing that, thinking in such a large way that you know how many 700 books are at $24.99? Heavy. But to go to each and every one of those community book stores I went to for 2 years to thank them, to let them know that we're all in this. You've given me so much to share with the Teamsters and the people who are in the trailers and my therapeutic writing program for kids and adults who are different abled. And I've been able to rescue horses and train them. I was on American Airlines the other day, and I saw a documentary on me, and it was like, and everybody's turning over looking at me and looking at the screen and looking at me cleaning up poop with a shovel and looking at me, and they're going, wow. Yeah. And we did it like 6-7 years ago. But it was to show that someone in the industry is using their gifts from you for the community. And because of my life, which you've probably read about and will see, I was considered different abled as a child because of my attacks and traumas. And I stuttered and I didn't talk for 2 years as a little girl. So I know what it's like to be called developmental and learn to speak and connect with people and trust people. And here I am today, and I still stutter, and I'll use it. You know, I'll just say I hadn't slept or I have a hangover or whatever. They can use it, but we all have different incredible issues. And I wanted all the girls and boys and adults who come to my program, because I got to ride my family's draft horse in Wyoming. My great-great-grandmother had a sugar beet farm and a hotel for the African Americans, Native Americans, and the Chinese families that worked on the railroad. I gave that information to Richard Pryor, and he co-wrote Blazing Saddles with Mel Brooks. With that information, everybody sitting around the campfire farting, eating nothing but a plate of beans and biscuits and farting. That was the Wild Wild West. You know you testifying. You know when y'all come to the farm on the weekends or during the summer, there's a lot of bean eating. That's how, and they were good. They were really, really with brown sugar and bourbon. It was great. But, so I have such a rich past, and I wanted to share with everyone how I surfaced to the top. Sometimes you feel like you're being pushed down or bobbing, you're beaten down, you have some bumps in the road, and then you come back up, supported by one another, or you're supported, by eating beans, I don't know. But tell your pantries nothing but beans and rice and pasta and sauce and everything that we can during the summers, or food, vegetables. And even Quentin got a lot of the information from me in my ruralness when you saw Hateful Eight. Remember the scene where in the transpo cabin where everyone comes to eat and you go out and there's a rope that goes to the outhouse in the blizzard, and the rope from the outhouse to the barn? That was my grandfather's house. And if you were in a whiteout and you lost your way, you could find your way back with the rope. So it was authentic for me to see that. Because we don't have a lot of Western movies or films that have the time to take, that's character. When you see it, that's more story and subtext to you when you see certain small details. I'll tell you another one, and then I'll just let you go at it. No. The long chapped leather covering over the cowboy's jeans and pants to go through the chaparral that has, weeds and thickets and things that'll cut your legs up and your pants up. It's called the chap. You've heard of the chap. Well, the Chinese cowboys from the Chinese families that were cattle barons in Wyoming, they got on horses and they were going to put on the chap, and the chap was too long. Went to the floor, it was a long drag, and so they cut it at the knees to be shorter, and they call it the chink. And the short chap is called the chink. And it's not derogatory. It's just a shorter version of the chap called the chink. And people didn't know that. They didn't even know there were Chinese cowboys or Chinese cattlemen or families so integrated in the West from Norway and China, Germany, you name it. We learned so much, and we're going to have a lot of new stories coming up. I think The Harder They Fall was one, and there's a few others they're resuming. And so because of you, being the ticket, well, I want to be educated, they're not going to read a book, it ain't in the library. I'd rather have a date night with a great-looking guy, have dinner, and go see a movie. I like to get out. I like to see everybody. So anyway, enough of me. So you've got...
Pam Grier.
He's got questions for me.
I got some questions for you.
No, I didn't have an affair with Quentin.
No.
Just to make sure.
Yeah.
No,
It's not.
I'm concerned for his family because his wife is from Israel. So I'm hoping they're okay.
I just got to ask about, you spent some of your childhood in England.
Yes, I did.
And how did that compare with your time growing up in the U.S. to England? Was there much difference?
Well, England was London, and as my dad was stationed there as a Strategic Air Command base, there were huge bomb craters all through London. London was bombed. Roads, streets, buildings. We didn't have electricity half the time. We put our food out on the window ledge. We didn't have a refrigerator. We had to buy coal from a horse-drawn wagon, a lump of coal. And then the same wagon came by in the afternoon bringing in fruits and vegetables. So that's how we went to the market. So, here we've got supermarkets. Or I eat in Mississippi, they have these wonderful dining, hot food at the gas station in Gulfport, Mississippi. The best shrimp and grits you could ever have. I eat at gas stations all the time. And it's okay. It's good. I enjoy it. I'm going to eat. You can smell it. So we didn't have the luxuries at that time in London and England. It was post-World War II. So it was hard to see that.
So I got to ask you though. I mean, as far as your growing up experiences, did you feel like you were treated any different in England than you were in the U.S.?
Yes, very openly, fairly. There was no Jim Crow or the racial divisions or anything like that. They all wanted us to, they wanted us to dance. They wanted to hear music, rock and roll. They loved Nat King Cole. They played Nat King Cole until times got better. They wanted to hear Fats Domino. No one will hear, all right, you're a music, jazz. They wanted to hear, and literally all the moms wore socks. They couldn't afford stockings because of World War II. And they were there just dance and do the boogie woogie and until before their husbands came home. And it was just joyous, and they were from so many different, countries. Mm-hmm. And my best friend, Heidi, unfortunately, was half German. And they wanted to bully her and beat the shit out of her every day. And I stood up for her. I was very tall anyway, so I could stand above everyone. But I didn't understand as a little girl, why are white people beating and killing up other white people. Because in the States, it was a different racial profiling and bigotry and coloring, and I didn't understand it as a little girl. So I had to ask questions. And they said it was the Germans, but not all Germans were Nazis. So you gotta ask, you gotta question. People don't even know when the First Reich began, or the Franco-Prussian War, when Prussia was all of German countries. And they literally occupied all of France. Do you remember? I know y'all remember it. I can see it. And France gave up because they killed all the men. And France was taken over by Prussia, the Germans. And that was the First Reich, and then before the Holy Roman Empire, and then the Second Reich came. And then if you look at that history, you can go, when you have a Reich, you don't get to vote. You're told what to do, where to go, what to eat, when to eat. And so it was, now I'm out of the forest to see the trees. I'm hearing other things that I'm not hearing at home. Maybe I'm too young, but I'm going to catch up because I know what it means to be able to have this and all of our tastes and a little bit of fantasy to get us through the day when, things can be a little tough and hard in reality. But that's why we come to Comic-Con. John Singleton, the director of Shaft, and he would meet me there. He knew I love comic books. And he would take me to all the comic book stores, like in Big Bang Theory. It was me and John. And he had the books. I was like, I can't take all these home on the plane. But then he said, Stan Lee wrote Misty Night for you in his bio and sent it to me. And then Stan Lee showed up at the New York Comic-Con to give me a hug and said, I base my women on your behind. And I said, is that all? And he is a cutie booty, I'm telling you. He was so sweet and such a great gentleman. And he said, you bring dancing, you bring culture, you bring, stuff that filmmakers forget or think no one will like it. I said, just do it. It's the brown nipple revolution out here. Look at girl. And women, see, I had to build my brand to have men accept a woman studying martial arts from the Air Force bases. And there's two different forms. There's the internal form of Qigong, China, White Tiger, Jackie Chan, internal forms where they meditate so they don't feel the pain. And there's the external form of karate and jiu-jitsu. And so people get it mixed up. I don't care. But you have to help men accept a formidable woman and she would know when to be demonstrative in a patriarchal society. You want to let your man be a man when it's time. And then there's a time where it's what, you didn't put gas in the car? And you want dinner ready today? And you let the crock pot, burn up the dinner? So now it's more even. And it's accepted. But I had to build the audience for men to accept me walking in and saying, I'll hit you first.
So you're pretty much the first female, action
That's what
star.
Quentin said.
That's what
Ask him. Why ain't he here? Ask him.
So how... Did he actually say that directly to you, or was that from?
Oh no, he did. He definitely during Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, nice.
When he wrote about me and said, Foxy. They're talking about Pam Grier and Foxy Brown. Yeah. She should be here whooping ass. I'll break a nail. I don't want to break my nails anymore. I want you to break your nails, and I'll clip your toenails. My men always love me to clip their toenails. He defined my films that were so successful so he could pattern his films as success. And I would give you a pop quiz, but most of you are not going to be here tomorrow. But what in his films up to Jackie Brown, and we're talking Pulp Fiction, what did he use that mimicked my films, Coffy, Foxy Brown, Sheba, and there's certain elements, there's really one that he used that he wasn't going to use in Pulp Fiction, but that he used because he got from my movies. I know everyone's like what, we're going to have to go see her damn movies tonight. I don't want to see her damn movies tonight. Did you? Hey, was it on MGM? Oh wow. And then Pluto Nash with Eddie Murphy. Yeah. And Eddie said, I watch your movies and I realize what element makes your film successful. And it's all that we do at home is we're always playing music and dancing and singing in the shower butt naked. And there's certain things that you bring, Quentin did, and he said, that's what it is. And so I want to tell you, maybe later I'll announce it. I was going to give a prize or something, and it might be, everyone's going to leave. But there is an element to our humanity. Even in church, you got music. Clue. You got gospel music. Clue. Every church has a choir that sings to connect everybody. And so that's kind of the big clue that he uses in his films. In Pulp Fiction, music. Who was dancing to music? So it's in all of us. The radio at home, when we shower, when we have people over, music. I'm eclectic. I listen to all types of music. Spanish flamenco, some rap, hip hop, jazz, blues, I love Ella, you know that. Anyway, I love all types of music. It's my soul. And so I hope to bring to my next body of work is when Foxy, we were doing that. And all the men that I dated in my life and lived through the relationships, which was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he loved jazz, and Miles Davis. And then there was Richard Pryor, the music, he liked Stevie Wonder. And then it was Freddie Prinze, he loved Cisco Kid, was one of his favorite songs. So we all have something about music that connects us. And that's what Quentin did. And he said, I know what makes you successful because you're dancing and singing all the damn time. And that's what it is, our music.
Would you mind if we get some questions from the audience?
No.
Can we get some?
They'll hurt me.
Aw. You guys got questions?
Yep. Here's questions. He was first. He was like, matter of fact, he was like this the whole time.
That's all right.
He was like, and he's got on a fab jacket.
Oh, I thank you, Pam. I really appreciate it.
No, but thank all of you. I'm here. You've given me courage to accept, I don't walk in and just smack somebody up the head. And I'm just like, but, there are some bullies and they're in all shapes and sizes and stuff. But I know I can smell a bully and I'm going to stay away. I'm not going to go in there and try to, you can use a table a lot in Coffy. I was, hitting people with tables and chairs, but I know how to do it. Like they said, I had a black belt in bar stools. Okay. So, but that was because I was a scary little girl and I'd been attacked before, so I had to learn martial arts. But anyway, yes, I will sign your DVD and all that. And then at my booth, we're going to do selfies, and that'll be your Christmas card. At Walgreens for $500, for like $10, me and you on a Christmas card. Send it everywhere. As opposed to the ones that you get that are like last year's, you share and you give to each other. They gave me Christmas cards and I gave it back. So, but when you come over to my booth, I always have music. so that when you're standing in line, that we're all dancing to something that kind of connects us. You're in my very large living room. So, okay, your question.
So I just want to say Merry Christmas, Pam. It's wonderful to have you with us.
Oh, Feliz Navidad.
Thank you.
Que pasó? I speak several languages, so I get it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Merry
I actually
Christmas.
got this jacket on Christmas one time.
To wear for me. Thank you.
Yes.
You hot.
And
You hot. And you can tell your girlfriend, y'all can say, be hot together.
that's right.
Okay?
Thank you, Pam. So my one question for you is, how would you describe your experience on working on the films Coffy and working with Quentin Tarantino on Jackie Brown? In other words, your favorite parts about working on those two projects.
Coffy was my first big mainstream film. Look at, they're falling in love already. Anyway, Coffy was, they knew that I had the 4 Roger Corman films. I was learning filmmaking, and then Black Mama, White Mama. And I saw the comedy in that. I was wearing a nun's habit, but no panties underneath. Made a difference when you don't wear panties. I have no bra Saturdays, and all my friends love it. Don't we? Yeah, mama. No. Hey, and she said no bra Friday, too. It's a whole weekend, man. It's like motorboat, ain't it? Yeah, baby. Anyway, I'm just trying to get you guys, flavor going. Get your juices going, and have a day. Go see a movie or, crank it up on the streaming. But Coffy was supposed to be the first big mainstream because of the budget. And it was so successful, it knocked out James Bond out of first place.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Great film.
So that gave me a career. It gave me the next, movie deal. Because I was still a student. And I was surprised, but grateful because that gave me a career. But it enlightened me about what did I do in Coffy. It was kind of the first grassroots, kind of vigilante-ish, but how a common woman, Coffy was based on my mom. And we lived in an area, it was pretty gangster, it was pretty tough. And she stood up to everybody because it was so hard for her to take care of kids by herself as a nurse. So that was different. And then there was Jackie Brown, pretty much the same. You use not superheroism or not guns or not heavy, she's prepared to fight. No, it's like I come from a family of women of skillet throwing women. Y'all know your mama and your grandmama, y'all just throw that skillet, it turns the corner and hit you in the head because you were acting. In my house, you do not go in the house without washing your hands. And so you would get, ow, okay, I'll wash my hands. Okay, I don't want to. So I come from, and Quentin had studied my films and saw that I had music in Coffy. Whether it was Roy Ayers or Motown, there was always music, flavor. When a character came into the room, there was always a music track, there's always music. And he realized it, and that's why you have in Jackie Brown, the Delphonics. Quentin loves music. Every movie he's done has music in it and reflects the soul of the characters. And so I could see the growth, but less violence because, I had, when I did Jackie Brown, Quentin made me for 4 hours come in the room and he says, okay, you took the gun out of Max Cherry's glove compartment and you snuck it in your bag. Now I want to see you. I don't want to see you take the gun out and turn it on Ordell. I said, you're the director. Help me figure this out. 4 hours I had to practice taking the gun out of the purse, turn my back to it, and then turn around and put it in the waistband of my skirt because I'm going to have to use it because he's coming to kill me. But Coffy didn't have, she had to take a gun, steal a gun, and she knew what it meant. But she just, she wasn't a seasoned firearm, person. So it was grassroots. You kind of fall into a situation where you got to learn in seconds how to use a gun or throw a knife or blow a bomb. You know, it's not you're an expert at martial arts and guns and stuff. So it's grassroots. Figure it out. You know, in and out of a situation with a bobby pin or whatever's available. A broken bottle. You know, I had to break the bottle in Coffy to use it as a weapon. Don't we all do that? Break a bottle, you know, over. So there were things where I'm not a professional, you know, killer or protect myself. So that's what happened. I had to in and out of situations on my own. So that was Jackie Brown as well. Those are very similar.
Let's get another question right down front over here. There's two.
Absolute honor. I've been waiting 20 years to see you in person.
Oh my goodness.
Especially because we are fabulous Geminis who have the same birthday.
Oh, May 26th.
Where is it? I put a
Oh my God. And Philip Michael Thomas.
I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay. So I am right in front of the speaker, so I'll make this quick. Did you find it to be a compliment when Austin Powers used Foxy Cleopatra to model his Beyonce character?
You know it.
All right.
And it was Beyonce.
I'm saying.
Queen Bey.
You did.
You know, yes. Every time they, kind of resourced me and threw me in there, and I would gush.
Did you get a heads up on that? Did you know it was coming?
They do, but I don't listen to it, you know. It probably was zoomed over my head. I was in the barn mucking the stalls or something,
okay.
And I don't remember. But they let me know that, you know, it was happening. Matter of fact, which is going to be in Foxy. Quentin's, you know, going to be in my biopic. It's going to be 7 hours, but it's going to be cut up.
I'll take it.
Anyway, I'm with the Hudlin Brothers, and we're doing, you know, a HBO project, and we're driving through traffic. Excuse me, we're not driving. We're sitting in traffic in L.A. And he says, Pam, he says, you know, word has it on the street that Quentin Tarantino's writing a movie for you. Are you high? I didn't hear about it. They're not going to tell you. I didn't hear about it. He says, no, I hear that he's writing a movie for you. Okay, great. And he says, no, seriously. And that's him in traffic, standing in a car next to a girl macking to her. That's Quentin Tarantino in a tank top and some raggedy shorts? Are you? No. He says, yeah. He said, hey, Quentin, it's the Hudlin Brothers. Come on. And Quentin says, hey, man. And you know how he talks, hey, he comes up running over to the car. And the Hudlin says, this is Pam Grier. And Quentin lost his shit.
I would too.
He said, no. He said, oh my God, you know how fast he talked. He came around, he says, hey, man, you know, I'm writing a movie for you. And I say, who are these crazy LA people in the traffic? He's barefoot and flip-flops. And he's got what? And he says, no, I'm really writing you a movie. It's called Jackie Brown. I'm going to send it to you. Yeah, right. He takes off like a doe in the night. But you didn't get my address. Oh, he lying. He ain't sent me nothing. He's just trying to. And soon I get the script in the mail with postage stamps on it. It's due 44 cents. He said, did you have to tell everybody that? I said, yeah, because you a real man. You know, ain't nobody going to put $5, $6 worth of stamps on an envelope. But you did. And the post office said, you ain't getting this script until you give us 44 cents. Yeah. That's New York. I said, okay, here's the money in an envelope taped to it. And sure enough, open it, and it's Jackie Brown from Elmore Leonard Rum Punch. And the rest is there. So don't judge. We're all the same. He did it. He said, we're going to be in rehearsal. We're going to shoot this 10 weeks. We're going to be rehearsing. You have to rehearse. If you don't rehearse, you can't do my movie. There's a lot of people aren't working with Quentin because they don't rehearse. And so he doesn't get the nuances from everyone's personality to add texture and layer to the work. And we're each other's muse. And I asked him, I said, if I go first, would you read my eulogy? And he said, if I go first, I want you to read mine. So that's a done deal. And I respect that he gave me the opportunity to share another gift that he has with you. He didn't have to, because I didn't believe it was him standing in the street looking raggedy. I wouldn't have dated him. Did you have a bath? Why you look like that? Your name is Quentin? I don't believe it. But it was true. And I look worse than he half the time. You know, it's like, oh, Lord, y'all don't want to say, is that who? Pam? Really? That ain't her. Yeah, so through it all.
So we got time for about 2 more questions. She is going to be heading to her booth after this, so you know you're going to want to hang out. So let's get 2 questions in.
And bring food.
Bring food.
I didn't have food today. I had nuts on the plane.
There you go.
Lots of nuts.
Let's knock it out.
And I found somebody's gum in one of the bowls, too. But I didn't chew it. You know, they had probably ate it and spit it out and went to the next person anyway.
Okay.
Hi, Pam. Just wondered if you could give us a quick remembrance of 2 actors you've worked with in your career. The amazing voice that was William Marshall and genre legend Sid Haig.
Oh, yes. Well, William Marshall, I love horror. Oh, the horror Comic Cons, I try to sneak in. You know, because I love the fascination, the love, the craft, the art of it. It's just brilliant. I loved working with him as he was playing Blackula. And with that wonderful voice. And he was a professor at Cal State. He was in Santa Barbara somewhere, and he'd come and do my film where I'm a vampire. I said, oh, so how long are your teeth? And, you know, where are you going to put those teeth? Am I next? Here, you know, make sure I have on some great perfume, French, you know, some Joe Malone or something. But he was wonderful and a comedian. He was exceptional. And then Sid Haig, you know I miss Sid. When we did the first film together for Roger Corman, I said, Sid, I'm a student. I've never acted before. And he looked at me, he said, I hadn't either. And I said, oh, great. And he says, but you're singing. I said, I calm my nerves by singing. So I was singing, you know, all kinds of songs, Temptations, Martha Vandellas. I was singing everything just to calm down. And he says, you're really good. That's a part of preparation here is vocalizing, connecting. And he would just say, hey, every morning I want you to sing. That calms me down, too. And so he was really like my professor in acting was Sid Haig. He had a great voice. And he had a great laugh. He didn't, you know, everything was funny to him. He didn't take anything seriously. He was probably one of the greatest mentors in acting was the Sid Haig. And I saw him a few months before he passed. And I said, you let me know, smack me upside my head if I'm doing something wrong. Come out of the thunder, you know, you can't leave me in. And unfortunately, he did. But we've stayed in touch. Sid, leave a message, you know, I'm in town for a few hours. Just want to let you, how you doing? And everything, and I'm so grateful for him sharing his craft. And most of the people that did, you know, they would do movies that were horror and fun and just like, hey, just get out the house movies. They were brilliant theatrical Shakespearean actors with great technique and stuff. And they can widen your spectrum of your abilities. You know, don't take yourself, do funny, be silly, do whatever. And he just really helped me tremendously. I loved him, miss him. Matter of fact, he would be in everything I'm doing from here on in the next, 10 years if he was here. I can always have a flashback of him or something, a picture. Yeah, he's wonderful. Yeah, we all miss Sid.
Yeah.
And I would call him Sidney. He hated that. He said, only you could get away with that. I said, yeah, baby, because, that's for real.
Let's grab one last question.
1, 2,
2,
3.
You got it. 3, whatever you want.
I'll make them quick.
All right. We're good.
They'll be at the table and they'll leave food.
Yeah, there.
Thank you so much for being here, Pam. It's a joy to meet you. I wanted to ask about your experiences working with Roger Corman and American International Pictures.
Roger had a company called New World Pictures. And his office was right across the street from the Whiskey on Sunset Boulevard. And he was looking for someone, an actress who was kind of raw. And I was at APA doing reception. That was my first job. And everyone was like, Pam, would you like to be an actor? No, I'm in school and I'm a poor student. I have no clothes. No. And so they said, no, Roger Corman's looking. You kind of fit the bill. He wants someone that looks like they're in prison. I mean, it was my Timberland boots are a giveaway. They were from Sears, $9.99. And I had a black skirt on and a white blouse, and I was the receptionist. And they said, no, you ought to consider it. You're kind of in your face. Because I wouldn't lie when they said, tell him I'm not here. Goldie Hawn is coming. If she calls, tell her I'm not here. I ain't lying for you. Yes, you're paid to lie, Pam. We're not here. Cover for us. Lie for us. Okay, will I get more money? I'm a starving student. Then I worked at AIP in the afternoon, and then I worked at a sports club playing music because I worked in a record shop, so I had 3 jobs. And Roger wanted to, I'll see her. So my agent walked me down to Roger Corman's office. And here's all these women with blonde hair and blue eyelashes and shadow and short skirts and go-go boots that they wear in cheerleader, shows and the football games and stuff. They never go out of style for some reason. And I walked in with my 501s, my Timberland, my plaid shirt, and like my afro out to here. They stopped me at the border, the sheriff, and held rifles at me saying, is your car legal? And I'm saying, it rolls. You look like, is your name Angela Davis? No. And that was the radicalness that was happening at the time. Black Panthers, radical, all that campus stuff. And I walked in, and he looked at me. He said, oh, she rough. She really rough. Not looking like anybody in that reception room. And so he sat me down. He says, so, you want to be an actress? I said, no. I can't leave school. I'm poor. I got to go to school. Gloria Steinem, y'all know Gloria Steinem, said women should get their education so they can be independent, take care of their men if they don't come home from Vietnam. I said, so, do you know Gloria Steinem? He says, no, never heard of her. Ah, okay, then. So he said, well, can you read? Can I read? I'm a student. He said, no, can you read a script? I said, no, I'm not. I've never read a script. It's in the office where I work, but I don't get to read scripts. I'm just the receptionist. He said, oh, okay. He said, well, you look the part. I said, well, what do you pay? He said, $500 a week. I was working 3 jobs, bringing home 140. Wow. So I said, well, if I do, what's it called? Reading, acting. Oh, okay, acting. If I do this acting thing, you can't fire me because I'm letting go of all these jobs. I really got to get into school. You have to talk to my mama, and she has to give you permission. He says, I have to call your mother. I said, yeah, mama. You have to call my mama, and she has to say, okay. He says, okay. He called my mama. And she said, sure, take that bitch away. I'm tired. She crazy. She wild. She's out there working 40, 50 jobs. She's just dedicated. He says, okay. And she said, I said, you can't fire her, or you have to deal with my mama. And not mother, mama. And my mama's Coffy. And she's from Wyoming. And they all have guns and bullets in their pockets and pocketbooks. The Wild Wild West for black women. When a sister walk in the room and you acting up and she starts taking off her earrings, that's the kind of sister you need to leave the room. And that's the kind of character I brought to to Roger. And basically it was, okay, I turned him down. I said, I can't quit my jobs for this. And so I turned him down. But then I had an attack. And what happened with the attack was I didn't want to be attacked anymore. And I came back to Roger and I said, Roger, is that job available? I'll take it because I want to go away from all of this and find out who I am. So Roger was the first person to give me that acting job. And he betted on me. And from there to here, I owe him so much because he didn't fire me. And I was messing up all the time. I was messing up because they said I had to fight but slow down my swings. I said, that's not street. I have to do the stuff. And he said, okay, let her do her thing and we'll hire her. And it worked. It worked. The edge, he said, Pam brings edge to the work. It's nothing better than working for a Roger Corman movie when you're standing in a T-shirt and they spray your nipples down with water. And you know the movies, all them prison movies, wet T-shirt movies. Yeah, that's Roger Corman.
Let's get one quick question.
He's saying
we're out of time?
He's saying I gotta go. No more top. Well, it's about the wet
nice.
T-shirt stuff. You got it. You know.
Give it up. Pam Grier, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. What a treasure. Give it up. Come on, better than that. It's Pam Grier. Stop by her table, hang out. You know you're gonna have a good time. Thank you.
I'm sorry I had to stop at the wet T-shirt story. We'll do it later. Look, keep going. Go look at the movies.
Thank you, Pam. Once more for Pam Grier. Head over to her booth. Keep it going.
So, what are we going to do tonight, Brain?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Watch Fandom Spotlite videos and then take over the world.
Hey, God, that's great. And maybe we should tell them all to have fun?
And follow their fandom. Then bow before my genius.